What's up, gentlemen? So today, this video is all about that mythical, magical, motivational neurotransmitter, dopamine. So the way that I've been kind of thinking about dopamine is kind of like motivational, like testosterone, right? As a dude, you know, I know, we know that you need enough testosterone. If you don't have enough, you're gonna have all sorts of bad things happen to your body. But having too much of it, if it's too high, you're also gonna have some bad side effects. But how you get it, right? Whether or not it's through steroids or through healthy lifestyle choices in your body's natural production, that is the thing that's really the most critical. And with dopamine, it's kind of similar, right? If you're getting it or you're making your body actually produce it through unhealthy means or some of the things that we're going to go over today, you're going to not have the right balance. And then the things that are supposed to be producing it are going to stop working the way that they should. So this video is going to be broken up into 3 different parts. The first part, I'm going to go over some unhealthy ways and the reasons why a lot of us are having a dopamine imbalance. All right, the second part, I'm going to go over some signs that you actually are deficient in dopamine. And the third part, which is probably the most important, I'm going to go over some healthy ways for you to help your body rebalance and calibrate your dopamine production. So dopamine is super important for making us as humans feel pleasure. And it's one of the key components to why we strive and want to do things. It's kind of like your body giving you a little bit of a knuckle bump. Dopamine is released, it makes us feel good, which in turn makes us want to do it again and again and again. It's kind of like our body rewarding us for doing something, well, it's supposed to be for doing something that's going to help sustain us in terms of our lives, right? Which is why, like, sex feels good, right? We not only have that, like, sensation, but it also releases a ton of dopamine. But unfortunately, a lot of other things release a lot of dopamine into your body, like drugs and alcohol. One of the problems and reasons why it's so addicting is because when we drink, when we do illegal drugs, it feels so damn good. But over time, your body basically becomes a little bit numb to the stimulus that you're actually giving it. And so it releases a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less. But we are constantly seeking and striving to feel the way that we did the first, second, third time that we actually did it. The internet is another thing that is unfortunately causing us a lot of problems when it comes to dopamine, right? And this is something that has never really technically been studied for a super long time. The internet is a relatively new thing, but every time you turn on your phone and you go to one of these social media apps, whether or not it's Twitter, whether or not it's Instagram, whether or not it's TikTok or YouTube, or you're seeing Facebook and your friends dropping thumbs up, it's a little boost, a little hit of dopamine. We look, it gives us a little feeling of, oh, that was awesome, thanks body, and so we do it again and again and again. Another thing that you have is video games. When I was growing up, we didn't really have video games the way that you do. Now it's like a completely immersive experience, which is once again totally effing up the dopamine balance in our brain. Social media is one of the biggest culprits in terms of effing up our dopamine production and balance in our brain. But one of the biggest problems is internet porn, right? Woo, that feels good. And so what do? You want to do it again because it feels so damn good. So good, so good, so good. Now, unfortunately, this constant cycle is one of the things that causes us to develop really bad habits. It's never been more important and critical with the ease and access to all of these different things that produce a lot of dopamine for you to have discipline and for you to create healthy habits. When I really think about motivation and people that are successful versus people that aren't successful, it comes down to your habits, right? What you do consistently is going to determine where you end up. And guys, real quick, before we actually go over some of the signs that you have a dopamine problem, I just want to recommend an audiobook from James Clear called Atomic Habits. It literally is the best audiobook I've ever listened to in terms of really giving you a framework in order to develop amazing habits and break bad ones. Guys, I'm going to link to that audiobook down below. You can grab it for free because Audible is today's video sponsor if you go through that special link, audible.com/alpha-m, or text the word alpha-m to 500-500. You're going to get a 30-day free trial to Audible Premium Plus, but you're also going to get to download 1 free audiobook. It's just to prove that it's not just me, in my opinion. Check out those ratings, 111,000 stars, right? The average is 4.8. This book is a game changer. The thing that I really loved about Atomic Habits is that it makes you reshape the way that you think about being successful when it comes to developing new habits. And it really helps you with easy to follow actionable steps in how to actually break bad ones, but also to form new habits. Guys, it's small little things that you do on a daily basis. Guys, I'm going to link to that down below. Like I said, this audiobook is a must listen to, honestly, for everybody in today's world. If you are on the internet, if you are somebody that wants to be more successful, you have got to listen to this audiobook. And like I said, it's free right now with that 30-day free trial. But something else that I've been super addicted to in terms of Audible is actually a podcast called Business Wars. Have you guys heard about this? Hang on, wait, I gotta back up real quick. So Audible is the leader in spoken word entertainment, right? They've got celebrity memoirs, they've got podcasts, they've got guided fitness meditation programs. Like, they are the best, but they also, of course, have all of the bestsellers, all the celebrity memoirs. And the thing that I love so much about Audible is this premium plus category. But the podcast, the amount of badass, incredible podcasts that Audible has, guys, is like next level. And they're always adding new amazing content to the Audible Plus category. Audible Original, guys, I'm telling you. And when you're an Audible member, you have unlimited access to the Audible Plus category. So I think one of the reasons why I love Audible so much is that when I was a little kid, I did not like to read, right? I've never liked to read, but I love listening. My mom would sit there and read, and I would listen literally for hours. And the way that I think about Audible, it's kind of like storytelling, right? A lot of the audiobooks you're gonna listen to is like somebody just telling you a story, right? You can really get engrossed in it. All right, the podcasts are amazing. And like I said, this Business Wars, I just got done basically listening to the Blockbuster versus Netflix, unbelievable. If you are an entrepreneur, you're just into business or just want something that's really kind of current but interesting, you gotta listen to that series. Anywhere, that's the thing. Guys, with the Audible app, you can listen when you're jogging, when you're doing cardio. I listen when I'm running, when I'm in my car, when I'm at work. I'll put it on in the background, guys. I'm telling you, if you have not checked out Audible, now is the time. Hit that link down below, audible.com/alpha M, or text the word Alpha M to 500-500 to get a 30-day free trial to Audible Premium Plus. You're also going to get to download one free audiobook. Guys, now is the time. Develop new habits. It starts with Atomic Habits. Hit that link, sign up today, and listen to that amazing book to start to get your dopamine right. All right, so now let's go over some of the most common signs that you are deficient in dopamine. Number one, we've talked about it, is motivation, right? If you lack motivation, or you're just not really interested, or not just not feeling it, this could be a sign that you are deficient in dopamine. The second way you can is a lack of concentration. If you're somebody that has a difficult time focusing on a task or a job or an objective, and you're always kind of daydreaming, looking, or trying to look here, right? This could be a sign that something is going on. The next sign that your dopamine may be a little bit low is being tired, right? If you feel sluggish or lazy, or you're just always feeling a little bit run down, even when you get a decent night's sleep, this is a sign that dopamine may be out of whack. But if you're somebody that has a difficult time actually sleeping, or you're restless at night, this is another sign that your dopamine may be a little bit low. Another sign that your dopamine is a little bit low, potentially, is you don't find enjoyment out of things that used to give you pleasure. Whatever it is. It could be exercising. It could be, looking at the movies. It could be going out on dates, whatever. If you're somebody that just isn't feeling the way that you used to feel about something that you used to love, another sign that your dopamine is out of whack. Speaking of love, another one that's a big one is a lower sex drive. If you're somebody that's kind of yo, whatever, it may be whatever. Sorry, little buddy, maybe tomorrow, right? Is that you now? One of the other things that causes a lot of dudes to have a lack of motivation in terms of going out to meet people or talking to, spicy senoritas is, porn. That's one of the downsides. There are a lot of downsides, but one of the big ones, other than the dopamine issue, is that it reduces your motivation to go out, meet people, and to actually make physical connections. Some other signs that you may be suffering from dopamine deficiency is social withdrawal, right? If you're starting to find yourself not wanting to go out or be around people, could be a sign or a symptom. Or reduced emotions, right? Whether or not it's up or down, you're just not feeling the way that you used to feel. Problems with anger, low self-esteem. Guys, these are some other signs that your dopamine is out of whack. If you're super forgetful, or if you're impulsive and have a difficult time controlling your impulses, guys, another sign that your dopamine is out of whack and potentially too low. Hand tremors, another sign. Muscle cramps, even some GI issues, right? Constipation. They found that constipation can be linked to actually a dopamine deficiency in the brain. I'm telling you, gentlemen, the dopamine situation is real, and it is critical that you have a healthy balance and you're getting it from the right thing, right? Because, like we talked about, if you're getting it from unhealthy unhealthy means through the internet or porn or through drugs or drinking, this is not solving the problem. But here are a few things that actually will. Be honest. You've got to be honest with yourself in terms of why do you think your dopamine may be out of whack? What are you doing that is unhealthy for your brain that you're doing a lot of? And then try to modify that or limit your exposure. Now, they talk about a dopamine detox where basically you abstain from technology for a week, 30 days, whatever. The problem with this is that if you don't curb the behavior and get it under control and develop a new habit, you're basically going to go right back and it's going to be the same situation, the same problem. And so limit the exposure. If it means removing certain apps from your phone or limiting your screen time or how much time you're actually spending on a device or the computer or playing a game, this is important. Second thing that's going to help your body basically release dopamine in a healthy way is exercise, right? Exercise, although if you're not doing it, you may think, oh man, I don't want to do it. After you're done and when you're doing it, it's going to feel incredible. You hear about that like runner's high or the high that you get after exercise or an intense workout. It's because your body produced and released so much dopamine. And the good thing is that when you get used to feeling this way, you're going to want to do it more. Massage, all right? Getting a massage is another incredible way to release dopamine. It's also going to help release a lot of the toxins that are built up like in your body, in your muscles, and just make you feel better. Another thing is meditation, right? Meditation, I know that a lot of dudes think, oh, I don't want to sit there all like, yeah, exactly, right? Meditation can mean you being mindful, you going for a walk, you being in nature, which is something else you can do. Being outside, doing something physical like gardening or walking or hiking is also going to help reset and recalibrate your dopamine production. Anything that makes you feel happy and relaxed, those are generally like incredible options in terms of helping get your dopamine straight. Something else is L-tyrosine, which is an amino acid. It's a building block for dopamine. L-theanine is another amino acid, and both L-theanine and L-tyrosine are basically precursors to helping build dopamine. Some other things, vitamin D3, another one that's great for dopamine production, not to mention magnesium. And let's not forget that super sexy fatty acid omega-3. It's good for your body, your brain, but also dopamine production. Gentlemen, that's where I'm going to wrap things up. I wanted to do this video because the more I research, the more I read about dopamine and the importance of having a proper balance and getting it from the right place and having your brain produce it from doing the right things, it's crazy critical, not only for you to feel good, but for you to stay motivated and kick ass. Gentlemen, speaking of kick ass, I think you are amazing. If you dug this video, drop me one of those.